Hey, what's going on, everybody? What is happening? What is happening? Welcome, welcome. Hope everybody's doing well for a Thursday evening. Thought we'd gather together for a little while, and I am prepared now to show you steps 19 through 23 that I am doing in the How to Make a Fantasy Sandbox by Rob Connolly. And this is my process for building my little sandbox world of Kreesh. And I'm about 7 zines in, I believe, of the creation process. And that's what we're going to be working on tonight. We're going to be working on, I'm going to be showing you the steps, and you're going to help me tonight. I have a few little pieces and parts that you guys can offer your assistance with. I hope that you'll jump in. Hope that you'll give me some good ideas. And we'll go from there. And then, let's see. Yeah, that's what we're going to do tonight. And we're going to have some fun. So yeah, be sure by the way, if you're watching this in the future, be sure to go ahead and click the subscribe button, or if you're watching live right now, if you've not subscribed yet, go ahead and click the subscribe button, and you'll get videos like this. Hey, Mike P. Might be not sure what steps 19 through 23 are. Well, I'm going to help with that. I'm going to help you that. There's a 33. Let me explain. There's a 33 step process that Mike offers. That Rob offers in how to build a fantasy sandbox, and I have a whole playlist, Mike. If you want to follow the journey that I've been on in creating my own little world, which I'm going to give you a little preview of. I have about 7 zines out there. The latest of which is the Land of the Gods, and that is going through the southeast region of Kreesh, and yeah, that's what we're gonna do. Tonight we're talking about we're going to talk about the layers. We're going to talk about some other things, and hopefully I'll be able to share, like I said, and the reason why I'm doing this too, Mike, and for others, is that I want to show the creative process. Sometimes we see something, we see a product, we see a resource, we see a zine, and we go, well, I wonder how they got there. I wonder how they did that. And my hope is that that people who watch it will get some sort of inspiration from it and go, well, I could do that. I mean, look at this guy. If this guy could do it, surely I could do it, right? And so that's kind of the part there, is to challenge myself, but it's also to challenge others and say, hey, you know what? You have some abilities, you have some skills, you have some creativity, you have some imagination. You can do this too. You can bring something to life. And so I really wanted to just push myself and say, you know what? I'm going to do it. I'm going to do it as the video title says here. I'm going to do it live, right? I'm going to show the creative process live as I do the steps. And some of it is, some of it I showed live me creating it, and some of it's I did it beforehand and just walked you through my process, but that's what I'm going to do. And there's only, after tonight, will be 10 more steps. And once again, I'm doing it very loosely. So for me, it's a little loose. So I'm not following Rob's steps to the letter. Okay. I'm using them very loosely to kind of create what I want to create. I'm looking for functionality, not authenticity per se. It's authentic in the sense of I created it, but it's not medieval authentic. It's not authentic in the sense of, everything, it is what it's supposed to be within the world that it is. I mean, it's not, anachronistic or anything, but it is, where the whole reason I designed it, I wanted to design it this way. I wanted to design it to the point of immersion, and that's what Rob does good. It's what the steps offer. It allows me the steps to build. I don't want to build it authentic. I want to make it functional to where my players will feel the immersion, that the whole thing works together. It doesn't feel like random stuff, which essentially is why I started the first part of the zine. Let me reach over here. The first zine I put out, which I didn't even know that I was going to do this. I didn't even know I was going to put together a whole thing. But when I did Hex Crawl of Horror, which is kind of the whole series of what we're doing here, I just wanted to put together a little hex. I said I'm tired of looking at hex crawls and just looking at a piece of paper with all these hexes with no idea how to fill it. Like, what am I supposed to put here? Where do I even begin? And that began my journey of using the hex flower and other things to be able to build now what is the southeast region of Kreesh. And that's the kind of the origin story of that. I've watched a few of your videos on other steps. Well, thanks, Mike. Appreciate that. Okay. So yeah, you're not sure what 19th. You know that the steps are the steps. You just don't know what 19. Well, I'm going to share those with you tonight, so that's going to be good. That'll be good. All right, so let's go ahead and jump into it, and let's see if we have anything else to share with you. Let me make sure I got all my ducks in a row here. Make sure that I don't skip anything. If you are interested in any of the resources that I have, and I hope you are, if you've not purchased anything, oh my, if you've not purchased anything, well, let me go ahead and say this. This is the link to the what I just showed you here, which is the Land of the Gods, which is playable. I mean, just in and of itself, because it's system neutral, you can just drop whatever it is you want to drop into your game. Use it how you want to use it. That's the way I designed it. And this is just to the single zine. So if you're interested in just the Land of the Gods, it's $2. I thought that was pretty fair price. Averaging page averages anywhere between 20 to 50, pages. This particular one has 26, 30, total like 30, 28 pages. And then you can buy the whole thing if you want to do that. That's the Hex Bundle. Let me drop that there. Okay. You can buy all of them together. And you basically are getting $2 off. Every time I add a zine to it, it has all the zines in there, as you can see here. And you're basically going to get $2 off of that. And then the last thing I'll throw in here, and I'll put the links down below later, is I'll put in here the actual book, How to Make a Fantasy Sandbox, if you are interested in this process for yourself. Okay? And we shall go from there. All right, now I think that's all the things. While I'm thinking about it, go ahead and click the thumbs up button if you like this video. Go ahead and give me the thumbs up now. I don't want to wait till the end. And we'll go from there if you want to do that. Let's see here. What else do we have? We have that. There we go. Okay. All right. I think that is it. And I'll talk about I'll get into that. Let's get into it. Let's get into it. Okay. My goodness. Let's go ahead and let's quit talking so much and let's talk about the process. Enough of the stuff. I think we've allowed enough time for people to get in and enjoy. And if you're here, if you've not commented, feel free to make a comment and or ask questions, because I'll be asking questions here in a little while. Mike says, cool. All right, here we go. Let's jump in here. All right, so here we have the Land of Kriesh. And that is the background map there that you have. And of the original drawing, which is kind of cool. And then I go down here. So let's talk about the steps from the book. 19 is describe your layers, describe each ruin, plots that tie locales together, and 3 to 5 encounters per locale. Now, once again, I didn't go letter of the law here. And let me see. Let me move myself over just a little bit because I think I'm hogging the screen here. We'll go ahead and get over there a little bit. I'll smallen myself. And so I did not do 3 to 5 encounters per locale. I did 1. And those are actually in the ones that I put in there are in the, which I dropped on the floor, excuse me. Which I did put in issue 10, Land of the Gods. So those the hooks are already in there, the encounter opportunities, and I'll put more in the next issues as we go along. Okay, all right. So that's what we're going to do tonight. So let's start with this: layers in the lands of the gods. Layers are places, and this is for anybody that may be new to role-playing games. Layers are places where monsters, humanoids, or otherworldly beings have made their home or home base of operations. So that's that. All right, so let's talk about the lair of the lizard men. I only have 2 layers in here right now. I only have 2 layers because I haven't, there's there's ages, there's eras that we have here. And the eras that we have, and that's what I made eras for, is that you can play in any era of Kriesh. Gives you some options. you can play in the time of the Weavers, which is about magic. You can play in the time of the Shadowed Age, which is about the wars that took place and the actual releasing of the demigods across the land, right? And this here is the layer of the. So I'm all that to say, more layers are to come. I feel like this is sufficient for the moment, for this particular area. I'm going to add more. We got to get there, right? But these are the two that I have. I didn't want to kind of overdo it. I didn't want to do all that, so we'll go from there. All right, so beneath the Salus River lies 7 miles of slippery, twisting, turning terrain. And I watched this video. What this came out of, too, is I watched this video of an underground grotto underneath a river, and it's literally 7 miles long. And it was wild. It was a wild-looking thing. And I was like, wow, okay, that's exactly where the lizardmen are. And that's where we get this. It says characters will have half movement and will need to roll a 2d6 unless they are tracking their path. And on 2 to 4, they become lost, because this was a massive thing. There are various swaths of water, all within various variant depths. So you're going to have puddles, and you're going to have some where rain has come in, and it's going to make it hard to get around. So there's no simple path in this little grotto here where you go in there and go, oh, everything's dry and fine. And nope, it is difficult terrain, half movement. Of course, the lizardmen don't get half movement because they're lizardmen. The lizardmen are born of Gorgon the Beast Lord. They fought during the Shadowed Age and pirated supplies from opposing ships, but they mostly moved troops and delivered supplies. And treasures from the Shadowed Age can still be found here. So all throughout the underneath the river there, you can be able to find things. There's things down there, right? There's the lizardmen. There may be some leftover supplies. There are treasures. There are all kinds of things that are down there. But it's you're going to have to be wise when you go down there, okay? So that's the lair of the lizardmen. And they kind of terrorize the Salus River from time to time. We don't know exactly how much they do, but they are involved. They are present, let's just say that. And then we have the lair of the Blight Dragon, Rotfang. And Rotfang, this is directly from inside the is located in the Grove of the Witches of the Blackened Earth, which this is their fault. All of this is their fault. And the path leading to Rotfang is marked by twisted skeletal trees with black brittle bark, patches of sickly yellow or brown moss and fungi carpet the ground, releasing a faint, acrid smell. The air is surrounding the air is surrounding the lair. Well, let's fix that. The air surrounding the lair is heavy, thick with spores and metallic tang of decay. And I just thought to myself, I don't remember ever reading about a blight dragon, and I wanted one. So I said, all right, we're going to have a blight dragon that what they breathe is this toxic fumes, basically, and this pestilence. Like, just imagine, like, it's just a weed. He's just a giant weed killer. He just kills everything in its path just by breathing on it, and all kinds of things happen. And I can tell you this for those that are here tonight. Issue number 12. I think this is 10. Issue 11. Excuse me. Issue number 11 is going to be the Dragons of Kriesh. I have an artist. I have paid an artist, to do 3 dragons for me. One of them is going to be the Blight Dragon. And by the way, I need to fix this as well. Let's just make it right, Paul. Let's get our stuff right, okay? So that's coming up in June. So I'm just going to do some dragons. We're going to talk about territories. We're going to talk about, do they get along? Maybe, maybe not. We'll see. We'll see what happens. And which will kind of give us a little peek at another area outside the southeast there. So let's move on. Ruins. Let's talk about some ruins. Like I said, those are the 2 layers that I have right now. There can be more, but those are the 2 I felt for this area for right now. It'll be fine. And then we'll work on some other things. So ruins in the lands of the gods. Many of these ruins are battle sites from the Shadow Age. And I should say the Shadowed age. Let's make that right. Okay. The Shadowed Age. These ruins dot the land with some being layers to beast, monster, or humanoids, and prime for treasure hunters and archaeologists. I need to make that monsters. Let's make that plural. And so we have, this is basically, I live down here in the southeast, and there are lots of battle sites. So, in my thinking of this, when we're thinking about ruins, and there's not a lot, there's only one really, and that's the one you're going to help me with tonight, is the ruins of of various battle sites, right? So you can go to down in the south and north and other places. You can go to these Civil War sites. Of course, there's no ruins there per se, but it is the site. And in this case, though, there are ruins, there are things, so you can go to those and check them out. Let me go ahead and check real quick and check the chat real quick. Let's see. Hello, Erudite. Let me move that over here. I'll move myself up, and I'll put you here. There we go, Mike. The Erudite DM, welcome. Let's see. Love Lizardman. They are a playable race in my game. Good. And you know what? And listen, Lizardmen can be maybe playable races here as well. We'll see who the defectors are. Maybe, I don't know. We'll see. We'll see. Everything's possible here. Everything's possible. Yeah, Slee Stacks for sure. Right? Rotfang. Yes, I like that name. Thank you. Let's see. System agnostic, right? Yep, system agnostic. Just when I put things in there, and I don't do a very good job of this. Hopefully, I will do this. I'm going to put out a DM's zine, the DM's guide to Kriesh, and a player's guide, a player's zine to Kriesh. And in the DM's guide, I'm going to talk about the hard, the easy, hard, difficult, impossible, like armor class, that kind of thing, where it's very generic. So whatever system you're using, you can plug in whatever the armor class you think that is. You decide what that is. You can say, if you want to make, the numbers, if it's 12, like they do in some games, it's either 10, 12, 15, 18, something like that. If you want to go that route, and I'll kind of explain it all out that way. But yeah, that's, when I put that out, I will do all the explanations, all the splaining will be in there. All right, let's carry on, because this is where I think we get to the interesting stuff. The interesting part where you are participating, which makes it interesting. And this is the ruins of Oakhaven Pass. And this is where I'm going to ask for your help. Let me read this to you. And I put this as, actually, this Oakhaven Pass didn't exist until I wrote the zine. And I shall read directly from the zine in the let's see here, in the Age of Crowns, and how this came about. It was kind of the in between. It's right as the Shadowed era is ending and the Age of Crowns is beginning. The war is just about to be over, and it says, the story of the Guardian Grove begins at the dawn of the Age of Crowns, following the tumultuous Shadowed Age. As the scattered people of the region sought stability and protection from lingering threats, a charismatic dwarf warrior named Vakish Stonefist emerged. His bravery and strategic mind at Oakhaven Pass, where he rallied his small remaining forces to defeat Gorgon's horde of goblins and their warboar Felfang, propelled him to become the first High Ward of Guardian Grove. He saw the strategic importance of the region's area, offering access to trade routes, etc., between mountains, forests, rivers. So we'll go from there. So basically, long ago, it was Vakish Stonefist who was in these ruins. This is their claim to fame. This is Vakish's. I'll call it Vakish's last stand. We'll just add some notes here. Vakish's last stand. Now, last stand can go either way, right? But in this case, it was a victory. So in these ruins, and there's a path. There's this. I see these ruins as being a, you know, where, you know, where they have it's like kind of in a little. It's in a pass. It's in kind of a little area there, and I just need some ideas. You know, this could be. One thing that I thought of was that it was that it is a goblin, um, you know, shrine of some kind. That basically they've made it into a shrine where goblins will show up and to honor their dead, right? And it's not a lair as of yet. I've not made it a lair. Goblins may try to take it over, but right now it might be a shrine. It might be something where goblins will go there every time in a season, kind of like how people go to Nuremberg or go to Germany and for D-Day or Victory Day and all these things. So for D-Day, but where they will go there for those things and have that have that time, have a memorial time, and you never know what could happen there. So I am open to your ideas. Let me look at the chat here and see what kind of ideas you guys are already coming up with. Yes, yes, yep. Yeah, dwarf. You thought? Nope. Vakish was not a goblin. Dwarf. Let's see. Yes. Yeah, Goblin Pilgrimage, Mike. That's kind of what I was thinking. That this is a pilgrimage site. I don't where they would go and honor their dead. And maybe it's not a thing. Maybe goblins are often just cannon fodder, right? And nothing wrong with that. But maybe they're different in this world somehow. I don't know. I haven't quite nailed that down yet. But I want to give them some further qualities that you don't see. They can be cannon fodder, but I want to, give them a little bit more, right? They honor their dead every year at Oak Haven Pass, right? That's a very, different kind of thing, right? Let's see. See. Okay, so goblins go on a pilgrimage. They pay respect to the dead. Yes, that's exactly what happens. Maybe a coming of age rite for warriors. Maybe. Maybe that's where they send their young to do battle, to attack, and maybe there's some revenge involved here, right? Maybe they've just never forgotten. They said, "Yep, we're very sad about this, but we're gonna get our revenge." Maybe that's what they've been doing all along, right? Damn dirty goblins, like Columbo. Let's see. Maybe a ritual for those goblins seeking to become priests. Maybe. I do like the idea. It's a goblin shrine. It's also a memorial. We'll put memorial there. We'll also say it is. Let's go ahead and do that. Let's go into shrine. It's a memorial. It's a training ground. And maybe one of the things they do is they relive the battle. They say, what could we have done different? What could we have done different here? Strategy-wise, right? Training ground for young goblins. And this is part of the exploration part, too, of, like, when you go to these sites, of course, sometimes there's a tour, there's plaques, there's things like that. And, yeah, there's some things that can happen here. There definitely can be some confrontations, some encounters. If you go to, these, if you watch on YouTube, these abandoned cities, there's always kind of a few people kind of still living there. There may be some people still there. It's in ruins, but that's where they live, right? But I have to flesh that out some more. I have not fleshed out Oak Haven, what it was before it fell. And that's part of what we're going to have. But right there, you have some encounters right there. What if you played the goblins? Right? What if you played the goblins? Maybe this is a whole thing. Maybe this is the adventure that the goblins have to go to the ruins of Oakhaven Pass. They have to go through a ritual. You're young goblins, and you have to relive the battle, and you have to win this time. Maybe people are captured every year, and they are forced to be Vakish Stonefist and his warriors, and then the goblins have to beat them. And maybe every year they get beaten. I don't know, but that's my thought. Is just like they do these plays, they do reenactments, right? Except these are real reenactments. Okay, so there's like real deal going on here. We're not LARPing here. We're like, this is like a real deal. So there's real reenactments, real battle. Okay, and I'll put play the goblins. Okay, play the goblins. All right, chat, what are you doing? Let's see. Yeah, rituals of Caprice, that could still come in there. A Nybog. All right, I don't know what that is, Erudite. What is a Nybog? Now compares to show respect to this. Maybe summoning spirits. Maybe the spirits of those goblins are still there. I like goblin. Let's kind of just do a little slash there and put goblin spirits. Maybe they're evil spirits. Maybe they haunt that place, right? All kinds of ideas happening here. Let's see. Yep, Day of the Dead for sure. Could be all the above. Holy site where new warriors are anointed and new priests are selected. Absolutely. Yes, reenact the battle. That's right. Religious site channeling the slain. Sure, absolutely. Let's see. The young goblins get to play the goblin. Young goblins get to play the goblin ancestors and fight against the older, more experienced goblins. Yep, absolutely. That could happen. Older goblins get to play the dwarves. Yeah. Or maybe the other way around. The young ones play dwarves because they are scummy noobs. True. A solemn goblin parade or processional at midnight. Yeah. Hey, Vance, how are you? Goblin Lost Cause reenactors. Yeah. Yep. Complicate matters with clans, factions. Yeah. What if there's clans that fought in that, and now there's a rift in the clans, in the goblin clans, because the battle did not go, and then maybe the clans blame each other for that, right? They blame them. Oh, it is. Nobog is spelled backwards. Oh, okay. Yeah. Let's see. Yep, shamans, yeah. You can do all that. So yeah, those are just those. I think these are, and I think what will happen is because this is a ruin, the goblins have to be able to operate in some sort of anonymity. And so this is going to be out in the middle of nowhere. There's maybe no other, there's no other villages or hamlets or anything else nearby. We'll talk about that in just a minute. Yeah, multiple clans banded together in the original battle. Now they skirmish against each other. Maybe. Yeah, absolutely. This can go multiple ways, right? This can go multiple ways when you design this. And then, do the spirits get involved, right? Are they like, does it all go south because the dead spirits come back and they hate these people. They're like, you just leave us alone. Get out of here. Quit reenacting our failures, right? All right, so I think we're good there. I think we have, once again, until I figure out what Oakhaven was, I think we have enough to work with. So what I want to share with you then is we go through these steps, and let me go back up here, because here's the deal. We have done describe your layers. Done. There was only 2 of them. Describe each ruin. We've described the 1 now, so that there's an idea for that. Plots that tie locales together, 3 to 5 encounters per locale. In this live stream, we're only going to do 1. I think and we'll connect the dots as we go. Literally, maybe connect the dots, because I'll show you why. Let's scroll back down here. And here's the adventure hooks. So here we have adventure hooks. The Tears of Selous, and Selous being one of the deities, this is like a healing river. The Tears of Selous is the waterfall. Excuse me, it's the waterfall. It's kind of the cleric-y area where there's a cleric school where all different people can go from all the different places and get training, learn to be warrior healers. And the Tears of Selous, the waterfall, has become tainted because the thing will happen is that the healing potions that people get will be tainted. People are getting sick from those healing potions instead of making them well. And there may be like a complication where, you have to roll, to find out whether or not what you drank was good or not, right? And so they're showing signs of blight and causing sickness instead of curing it. The clerics of Clear Spring desperately seek adventurers to find the source of this corruption, fearing Schism's influence or malevolent entity poisoning the sacred site. Now, Schism is the entity released from the Keystone and is basically controlling the Witches of the Blackened Earth area, right? And that is where our Blight Dragon is as well. So I have ideas for him. So let me just show you then, right here. There's the Tears of Selous right here. That's our encounter for that area, right? The Tears of Selous, the waterfall has become tainted, and now healing potions are not good. They do terrible things to you, and there may be a role on that. Who knows? But they're making people sick versus healing them. So we would have to figure that out and what that would look like. The second adventure hook. The enchanted walls of Guardian Grove, once able to detect approaching threats, have gone silent. The city guard is on edge and paranoia spreads. The High Warden tasks adventurers with investigating the cause. It is sabotage. Is it sabotage, a magical disruption, or a sign of a more insidious infiltration? Now, I found this piece of art here. You see how these circles have these kind of like, they look like they're like giant rectangles just jammed into the ground. That's what I see around the castle walls. Like there's a normal castle wall, but then they have these large, I'll say obelisk for lack of a better word, these large square to where if you're attacking, you're not going to be able to attack the wall straight ahead. You're going to have to basically get through these kind of dominoes or whatever to get through. Like if you're ramming, well, you're going to have to ram through one of these things first, and you're going to show your hand by doing that. You're complicating the encroaching forces, basically. You're complicating their entry level by having these things. And my thought was that these blocks, these giant blocks that are around, are basically they're sensitive to motion. They're like big giant motion sensors that if something is coming that is larger than a particular thing, like let's say it's the dragon, or let's say it's maybe it's keyed to the undead. It's whatever the magic users or the sorcerers or whomever have put on these things to create this, to protect this city in such a fashion, so that it just makes it more difficult for anybody to be able to really attack it. And that to me, that's just smart building there. So, but yeah, that's what that is going to do. And then that's why we have the fact that those things are not working. And the High Warden tasks the adventurers, hey, what's going on here? why is this not working? And we have to figure out why these aren't working. And of course, there's an impending attack. Maybe something happens during this time that, because the things are down, then something does attack, and now something is happening, right? So there's this kind of big scale type of thing going on, and maybe it's nefarious in the sense that maybe somebody inside the city, right, wanted these down so that something could attack. What that is, we do not know yet. So as you can see here, we have a little encounter dot right there, right? Let's see what the chat's up to real quick. We got about 8 more of these, but I want to make sure we're let's see. Battling Massive Grotto. Think Moria. Yeah. Some simmering clan hostility spill into clan war. Absolutely. Love the fortification idea. Thank you. That's, just trying to be smart here. Once again, Shadowed Wars was a terrible thing. And they're saying, look, we're not messing around. Not messing around. Yep. Detection beacons. Yep. Absolutely. And somebody inside the city does not want that to happen. So that's the mission that the adventurers go on, right? All right, so let's carry on then. Here's another adventure hook. The normally wondrous Aetherian veil above Skyreach has begun displaying disturbing and chaotic patterns accompanied by unsettling whispers. The stargazers believe these are omens of impending doom and seek brave individuals to journey into the Aether Mountains to uncover the source of the celestial disruption. And the Aetherian Veil is a kind of a twice a year maybe type of thing where something happens in the celestial, something happens in the sky that creates this very thin veil between other planes maybe. And things can go in and things can also come out. And so, there's something really bad maybe coming, and the adventurers have to figure out what that is. And there we have Skyreach, and there's the encounter right there. And by the way, there's the ruins of Oakhaven right there. Here's another adventure hook. The vital flow of Aether Woods lumber to Guardian Grove has ceased. Half-elven scouts sent into the Vaso Woods to investigate have not returned. The city needs the timber, and the High Warden hires adventurers to find the missing caravan and the half-elves and determine what dangers lurk in the Vaso Woods. So lots can go on over here. You have Aetherwood, then you have Shadowfen over here. You have this kind of trifecta of things you can go through. You have Guardian Grove here, which, if you're starting, this is the base of operations. Most of the adventurers will start in Guardian Grove and then can, go wherever they want to go then. Everything's, nearby enough, right? And there's plenty of room. And you can see the fact that there is space. And what I like about how I drew the map maybe, and I don't want to, there may be different versions of the map. This will be kind of the original map. This will be map 1, basically. And then I will go back maybe and dot and put some of these like here, like the ruins of Oakhaven. It's kind of in this area where there's not a lot of other things around. Skyreach is over here. The Selous River's over here. Other than that, Oakhaven is just an abandoned city, right? Because I only have Riverhaven, which is a town. So maybe Oakhaven was a town, and it's large enough to be abandoned, almost like a Wild West town, or some of these cities you see in China that were built that nobody's there, and it's out in the middle of nowhere, and that may be what that's about. And goblins may be there, they may be hanging out. We don't know, but so there's a problem with the wood, the Aether Wood that's happening over there. All right, so Riverhaven's prized fishing fleets have been attacked by an unusually aggressive and massive river creature, disrupting trade and threatening the town's livelihood. The River Council offers a substantial reward to any group capable of hunting and killing the unwanted beast. So it's just a big giant river monster. If you think of the show River Monsters, just picture whatever's in those rivers times 10. Big. Could also be a lot of them, right? So it's not just about how big they are. Maybe there's more than one, which would be a problem. Maybe they're mating. Maybe it's mating season. Whew. Well, you don't want any of that, do you? So over here at Riverhaven, So then you have Tears of Seleucus nearby. You have Stone's Throw, which is just a stone's throw across the bridge here. This bridge needs a name too. I'll figure that out later. So you have lots going on over there. Then you have adventure hooks here. You have ancient texts detailing the early practices of the weavers, which is which is when magic started to really be discovered, have been unearthed in a forgotten ruin near the Lunera Hills. So I plant that in. There's a ruin there. Don't know what it is yet. A forgotten ruin near the Lunera Hills. The Order of the Silver Quill seeks to adventurers to retrieve these fragile documents, hoping they hold secrets to understand the missing era of Koresh. So that allows, I try to build in here things that don't exist yet. Because you're going to look through and go, where's that at, Paul? Doesn't exist. You can make it exist. You can say, all right, there's a whole nother era. We're starting to find these different eras now of a different age. Well, what is that? Well, we don't know. Your players will decide that. So basically, the Order of the Silver Quill is all about archaeology, exploration, historians, and they are located inside the Guardian Grove. And so maybe that, something has happened at this dig site where they were digging, and something has happened, and these need to be retrieved somehow, right? Let's check the chat. What's going on in the chat? Let's see. Let's go through here. Yeah. Equinox or a comet that passes, maybe, right? Yep, my home campaign centers on reestablishing techno-magical warning barrier network. Absolutely. Why not? Right? Listen, after a massive war, a scaled of demigods, you're going to fortify in different ways. You're not going to build your cities the same way you used to. You're not going to, especially when you have the Witches of Blackened Earth nearby, where anything can come out of there and decide it wants to attack the city if it wants, right? So you got to, people are just getting it smarter, right? When you had an earthquake in California, guess what? The first one said, hey, maybe, and all these buildings were collapsed. They said, we should figure out how to build these buildings better. And they did. A 9.6 it probably can't handle, but, it's going to, buildings kind of move with the vibrations and with the, those things. And so, once again, you're just going to get smarter, whether it's, it's probably how the DMZ, came about, between North and South Korea. Well, you got to figure that out because you don't want any more battles there, right? You don't want that going on. Yeah, right. Starlink, huh? They dug too deep and took greedily. Yes. All right, Mike. Thanks for dropping by, buddy. Appreciate you being here, man. Drop by anytime. All right, let's carry on. We don't go too long here. So there we have the Hills of Lunera, which we really not fleshed out. I mean, they're there. We did Lumiflora, which is all about halflings. We haven't really fleshed out the Hills of Lunera just yet. So we'll get there. We'll get there. All right, so then we have Hearthglow's unique and vital Ironheart grain crop is failing. The normally hardy plants are withering, and the farmers fear famine. They offer what little they have to adventurers willing to investigate the cause, perhaps a soil blight, a strange pest, or even sabotage. It could also be a demigod's revenge for Hearthglow turning their back on them. Could very well be. So there's lots of little things in there that you can use, right? That's the whole deal. That's why, you put them in there, because if you want to use that and say, oh, let's do that. Yeah, we can do that. So there you have Hearthglow. You got a little dot right there. And then we have a valuable shipment of sky iron, painstakingly mined and crafted by the dwarves of Windstone, has been stolen en route to Guardian Grove. The dwarves, though few in number, which are fiercely protective of their rare metal and offer a significant reward for its recovery and the apprehension of the thieves. I was thinking about this too, that maybe as a beginner adventure, almost like a Brinks truck type of thing, that maybe the the adventurers have to go pick up the iron, right? They have to pick up the sky iron and deliver it back. But then they have all these complications and so forth. But they're basically like you give them a Brinks truck and then let everybody just jump on and try to attack it, whatever it may be that's trying to steal it, right? But it would be interesting to do it that way. So there we have Windstone. You have your little dot right there. Then you have a strange sickness is spreading through Lumiflora, causing the halfling's skin to develop uncontrolled bioluminescence that eventually leads to weakness and death. They believe the normally benign flora has been corrupted and plead for help from outsiders who might have knowledge of such afflictions. So, yeah, then you have these glowing halflings, basically. We don't know what that's going to do. We don't know what happens when they start to glow. Maybe they're on a timer. Maybe their death is signified by the quickening of the glow or like a flashing or something happens. Maybe they blow up. Who doesn't like exploding halflings? Come on. It could happen. And there you have the right there near Lumiflora. And then you have a conflict has erupted between Riverhaven and a downstream settlement over fishing rights and the river access on the Seleuce. Both sides are hiring mercenaries and tensions are escalating. Adventurers could be hired by either faction, forcing them to navigate the complex politics and potentially engage in riverine skirmishes. So, yeah, there's a settlement down. It's not a town. It's just trying to get started. But they don't want to pay the exorbitant fee maybe that Riverhaven has imposed. Maybe it's unfair. We don't really know. But maybe they're having to do that, and they're like, no, we're not paying that. We're not paying your stupid fee. And now it has come to blows, as they say, and they're going to have to figure it out, or they'll be in trouble, right? So there we go, Riverhaven. Riverhaven got used twice this time, but that's okay. Nothing wrong with that. Everybody's getting used here. Everybody's getting used. And this is what this will look like then. And I think that looks good. I think that's, when you say that there's an encounter just about everywhere on here, it's pretty good. I like it. Shadowfen really doesn't have one yet. I need to kind of figure out what that will be. But overall, I'm pleased with it. Okay. Let's go ahead and I'm going to go back to where we was. But yeah, that's my process. Let's see. Let's see. Yeah, the do line. Yeah, okay. Heists are always fun. Absolutely. Monday night playtesting. Maybe. But yeah, that is that's the deal, guys. I wanted to show my steps. I wanted to show my work, as they say, in the creation process. And like I said, if you guys are interested in all, for those that are new or those who will visit later, links will be down below to all the things. And if I didn't get a chance to show you, I want to show you now. In the latest issue, you get maps. So you have these maps, and I had these printed off, if you have not seen them. These are 11 by 17. Okay? These are 11 by... I designed them to be printed on 11 by 17. And I think that they came out pretty good. So that's just plain white. You can print there. Like I said, you give them to your local printer and say 11 by 17. That's what they're going to come out looking like. Then you have kind of a spotted, right? You have kind of a little texture to it. And then you have, I made it to where it has kind of like a little parchment look with some hexes if you want to get a little bit more detailed. Okay. And then it has just plain. If you want just the plain map, I think that looks cool, right? And you can always laminate these and say, I'm going to laminate them, and then I can draw on them if I want, right? You can do that. And as I make more maps, I'm going to make more maps maybe in these sizes to make them more usable at the table. Maybe, I don't know. We'll figure that out. Here's a map with hexes with the kind of the dirty map kind of look on there, right? And then that's it. Those are the maps. So overall, I am pleased with where I'm at in the process. I think I've done just about as well as I can. I made lots of mistakes, by the way, and I'm still making mistakes and will continue to make mistakes. But that's kind of the point is, people need to know you're going to make mistakes. You're going to have to go back and edit books. You're going to have to go back and resend books because you missed something. I am the worst editor in the entire world. I promise you. But I'll fix it. I'll make it right. So if you buy one, you find a mistake. Hey, Paul, you made a mistake. There's an error. There's grammar. There's spelling. Just tell me and I'll fix it and I'll send you a copy. It's just real simple. PDF. I dig your map work, Paul. Nice. Thank you, sir. Like I said, working hard over here. Working hard. I got more to do. This is just, if you look, I can't remember. I mean, I've been working on this since last year. Coming up on a year. July, maybe August, September will be a year. When I first started the Hex Club Horror, I think I was getting that ready for October, so probably September is when I put it out. Where we're at now, like I said, I'm happy with where we're at. We're going to get better, and there's about, like I said, there is 10 more steps left. So I don't know. I haven't looked at them really. I haven't really poked at them. So there'll be another video where I get on and share with you, those steps. They'll either be in a video or be live. Don't know. We'll see. We'll figure it out. But I thought tonight would just be fun, just to do a live one and show the process that way. I may go ahead and re-download this and download it and re-upload it as just a regular video. We'll see about that. But any questions at all, like I said, links will be down below if you're watching this later. Be sure to subscribe if you have not subscribed. All the links are in the chat. All the links will be down below. And spread the word. That's the next best thing you could do is say, Paul, I already own stuff. I already, have a lot of the things. What else can I do? Well, that's funny you should ask. I will share this with you. That you can become a member for only 99 cents of the channel here. You get loyalty badges, emoji, Crit Happens zine. You get the zine every month, early access to videos, etc. Become a member and do that. You can also, you can also become a $4.99 member, $5 a month, members only videos, member only live streams, member shout outs, live chats, priority reply to comments, perks from previous levels. So basically, if you're going to get the zine anyway, you get it for half price by just being a supporter of the channel. Plus, you get all the other stuff as well. So if that is of interest to you, you're welcome. But of course, share it with some people and say, hey, there's a nice little world building out here. There's a nice little thing going on here. Maybe you get that into your game. Put this in your game. Think about this. It's growing. It's a growing thing. So it's a living thing. It's never going to be finished. So I don't know. It may never be finished. That'd be cool if it may never be finished, but you never know, right? All right. I think that's enough. I think I have talked enough. I want to thank everybody for showing up. I want to thank Vance and Erudite DM and Mike and everybody else for showing up, being a part tonight. Your contributions are excellent and shall make an appearance in the next zine, or not the next zine after that, because we're going to do Dragons, the Dragons of Kriesh, and then I start working on the DM's guide, the player's guide, and then I start getting into cities. So I got it kind of mapped out. We'll go from there. All right, ladies and gentlemen, thank you for your time. Thank you for your attention. You guys have a great night, and please enjoy your weekend as it approaches, and we'll see you all in the next video. Have a good night, everybody.